guess what? The new Galaxy S24 Ultra. And here it is. Yes, I'm excited. I've been using the iPhone since the 4S, and I've only ever owned one Samsung Galaxy phone since then. Since the 4S, I've only ever owned one Samsung Galaxy phone. And that was the Galaxy Note when it first came out, and I can't remember what year that was. And ever since then, I've stuck to iPhones. I started with the iPhone 4S, and then somewhere down the line, I went to the 5S. Then I think around that time, I went to the Galaxy Note, and then I went back to the iPhone, went to the 6S, so on and so forth, up until the iPhone 14 Pro Max. And today is the day when I've decided to finally make the jump. And yeah, here it is. Galaxy S24 unboxing. Pretty cool, right? And open the box. So let's do that first. Okay. And unboxing is always an experience. I think Apple has made it into this kind of really interesting experience for customers. So I just want to compare how the boxing experience is with the S24 Ultra. Now, a lot of people will be just unboxing these without giving it much thought, but that's the whole point when you're interacting with products. You shouldn't give it much thought, but the whole experience should be complete. So let's see how this lives up to the boxing experience. One thing which is a bit annoying is that I could see some bumps on here. So yeah, clearly this has been banged around, but it's only the box, so fine. The box looks nice. It's just the picture of the S24 Ultra on here, nothing else. It feels like cardboard, I guess. Hopefully it's recycled. They've got this carbon trust footprint here, so I'm guessing that's something to do with the actual environment, yeah, which is nice. We can see that there is no charger, so that's something to know. But if we open it up, they got Samsung embossed on the side. So let's have a look at this. Interesting. Just off like that. Okay, fine. And there it is. And before we get to the main course, I just want to see if there's anything in here, and if so, what is it? So move this to the side, and I want to have a look at what they have in here. Let's have a look at what Samsung has given us. Nothing in there, fine. So we've got this material here, which is fine. I guess no one ever reads that, so we know that will go into the bin. Quick start guide, again, no one ever bothers with that, into the bin. So we have two things here that I could see. We have this USB-C cable, and we have this pin extractor thing. So we just, I guess similar to the iPhone, we just press it and it opens up the SIM card tray. Okay, enough of that. What we really want to get into is this phone here, and I actually can't wait to get my hands on it. And at first glance, it looks really beautiful. It actually looks a lot more better than I expected. And let me put my iPhone Pro Max side by side. I just want to get a look at that. Let's have a look at that here. Look at that. I've got a bit of fingerprint in there, but how interesting. Similar in color. Let me get the light off. Slight difference in color. I think, having a look at it, actually almost identical in color. I can't actually tell the difference. Maybe the Samsung is a bit lighter, but that's maybe because the light keeps shining on it. No, it's very much the same, actually. How interesting. Okay. Let's get that to here. Right, let me get my hands on this now. because that's really what I came for. Oh, wow. How interesting. Okay, let's get rid of this here. Okay, on first feel, I guess, there is a slight noticeable actually weight between the two. So the 14 Pro Max in my left hand, and obviously the Samsung S24 Ultra on my right hand. And there is a difference in weight. And off the top of my head, I can't remember how much this weighs, but I will put it somewhere here in the video so you could see the weight differences between these two. And fair enough, this is titanium, so I'm expecting the S24 Ultra to be lighter, which is fine. I expect that. But the difference is noticeable, but not by so much, actually. It's not much different. Interesting. Now, in terms of aesthetic feel, I'm actually very surprised at how premium the Samsung feels. And mind you, I've been using the iPhone since the iPhone 4S with only one hiatus when the Galaxy came out. And at that time it was Galaxy Note, it was all in plastic, and it was still a premium phone. And iPhones were very premium at that time, from the 4S to the 5S, the 6, so on and so forth. And I've never been on Android ever since. And I'm actually very surprised, very impressed actually. Hats off to you, Samsung, on this initial feeling of the phone. It feels very good, very premium. It feels nice on the side. I like these curved edges actually. They are great to hold. I know people used to complain about the sharp edges digging into your hands, but you know, so far I'm not having any of those issues. What I will do is I will use the phone a lot more and see if over time they start annoying me. But the fact that the phone is quite light compared to the iPhone Pro Max, the 14 Pro Max, it seems like not really a big issue. And the feeling again is a lot nicer to hold than the iPhone Pro Max's sharp corners. And that's the first thing I've noticed. As soon as I picked up, there is a weight difference. Not significant, but a noticeable weight difference. And I guess this is due to the S24 Ultra's titanium build. But also the hold of the phone, the comfort of the phone in your hands, it's very comfortable to hold in comparison to this. This feels quite, now holding this, the iPhone feels quite outdated in terms of holding it. And one thing I loved about the iPhone, right? Wow, this phone's just really gorgeous. I'm loving this phone. One thing about the iPhone is that I loved to use it as it is, use it naked, basically, no case. But the issues I've had with it is always in terms of comfort of holding this phone. And picking up this phone now and holding it makes this seem very old and redundant in some ways. I'm not throwing out the iPhone, but it's a very interesting experience really for me. First time in such a long time. First time in, I don't know how many years, 5, 6 years, maybe longer, of owning a phone other than Samsung. And I feel like I've come to the dark side and I'm loving it, right? But anyway, I love iPhones. I love their build. And I always said this about the iPhone. They have amazing build. They're very stylish. They are also a fashion icon. People love iPhones because of the way they look and because of the way they feel, right? They feel sturdy. They feel very good. You could hear that. There's no real hollowness anywhere. There's no bend, no flex, no nothing. So it feels like a very, very good premium phone. And hands down, you know, it is a good premium phone. But now having picked up this S24 Ultra, it feels so much better and so much more comfortable in the hand. It's a comforting feeling. Interesting. Okay, well, enough of that. let's get into the phone itself. Interesting. I'm savoring this moment, right? Mainly because it's the first time I've switched phones in 6 years, thereabouts. So I want to just enjoy this experience because it's a really nice phone. All right, let's turn it on anyway. Well, I'll figure it out. But before I do that, let's have a look at the button. So we have a button here. I'm assuming that's the power on off button and maybe the lock screen button. We have what I assume to be the volume rocker here. And that clickiness is quite nice. And do we have any more buttons or anything else here? No, we don't. I've seen some Samsung phones on YouTube and on the internet where they have a 5G band here, but this one doesn't seem to have that. There is this band, this really small band here. The iPhone, the 5G bands that they had was here, marked here, quite big, but this one seems to be it there. Whether that's the 5G band or not, I'm not quite sure. And it also here, I'm not sure if you could see that there and there, and yeah, and then here. Similar to the iPhone, actually, or is that? Oh, okay, yes. So look, similar here. You can see that there is the band there, if that's clear enough, and there's a band also there, if you could see that. I'm not sure if you can, and a band there, and a band at the top here. So that's interesting, and here, and here. Okay, fair enough. That's interesting. So they say imitation is the greatest form of flattery. So yeah, it looks like they're imitating here, here. They've got a band here. They've got a band here. They got a band where else? Here, 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 and here. Okay, that's interesting. Now, before I switch on the phone, I'm starting to cover it in fingerprints, which is annoying. Right, we have the S Pen. You press it, and there it is. How cool is that? Might never use it, but it's a nice to have. Press it in. Gives a nice click sound, little clicky, clicky sound there. Again, there you are. Interesting. And then as you could see, you have the USB-C cable here for charging, and then you have what that is, I'm not sure. Maybe a volume loudspeaker thing, maybe, I'm not sure. And there is the SIM card tray. So pretty nice. And you've got these two holes here, which I think might be the microphone. Let's start this bad boy up. There it is. Secured by Knox. Samsung Galaxy secured by Knox. How interesting. And there it is. Let's start. Okay, so what we want to do is select our language first. We've got Azerbaijan, Bosniaki, blah, 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 and we want English, United Kingdom. Yep, let's go to that. Click next. For your review, do we really care about that? I agree to all, optional. Setting diagnostic data. Well, let's say I agree to all for now. Let's be honest, no one really reads these anyway. And iPhone or iPad. So let's do that. Choose your Wi-Fi network. So I'm connecting to my Wi-Fi and I just want to see how it is to set up your iPhone to your Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. Your phone needs to restart to set up features and services from your service provider. Okay, fine, let's do that. I haven't currently got a card in here. So let's have a look at what happens now. Okay, so let's go back to setting it up, see what happens now, how it works. Add a phone number, do I need to for now? Skip, and I agree. Let's see what happens there. Connect to a mobile network, search for mobile plans, set up later in settings. Let's set up later in settings. Copy data from iPhone or iPad. Yes, next. Get started with Smart Switch. Let's see how it is to actually do this, because it'll be interesting to know. Don't have a transfer cable. That could be an annoying issue. And I don't have an adapter. Again, an annoying issue. And this is one of the issues, I guess, having an older version of the iPhone. It feels weird to say older version because it's really still a really good phone, iPhone 14 Pro Max, but the new ones are using USB-C. So that's going to be an annoying issue. Right, in that case, let's transfer wirelessly, which is annoying because it could take some time, but let's see how that works. To transfer your data from your phone, open Smart Switch on your iPhone, iPad, and scan the QR code. So that means I need to download an app called Smart Switch on Apple, on the iPhone, and then scan that QR code and start doing it. So there I am in the App Store. I've just started to download the Smart Switch Utilities app, and there it is, it's done. All right, transfer wirelessly. Join. So it seems to be connecting to some type of wireless Wi-Fi thing on the iPhone, and there we go. Connected to Galaxy S24 Ultra, and then it says searching for data to transfer. So scanning my entire phone there to then collect all that data and transfer it onto here. Okay, so it's done the scanning, and what we could see is that there is a total of close to 200 gigabytes worth of data, and it says it will take about 3 hours and 20 minutes. So we could transfer everything, or we could transfer only some things. And actually, when I think about it, I don't want to transfer videos, so I'll take that as a no for now. And I don't want to transfer images, but I do want to transfer my contacts and my calendar, so let's transfer that. Fine, I'll set that up. Okay, so it's saying teach your assistant to recognize your voice. Let's have a look. Okay, Google, what's the weather tomorrow? Okay, Google, set a timer for 5 minutes. Hey, Google, make a call. Hey, Google, remind me to water my plants every. Okay. Navigation. Choose your navigation style. Show buttons on the screen or use swipe gestures. I'll stick with swipe gestures. Organize your phone. Home screen only or home and apps. For now, let's keep that the way it is. Choose your keyboard layout. Extra keys so you can do more. Type without distraction. Let's keep it as it is for now. Okay, now let's keep it on light mode for now. Okay, fine. That's a very lengthy setup, guys. I'm not sure if it's because I went down the route of updating my phone via what I have on my iPhone, or it's just the way it is. And yeah, it's a bit annoying from a user experience perspective. I think what's the minimum you need to get the phone going? And I guess, yeah, it's a bit annoying, but fine. Let's go through it. Not a big deal. And finally, we've landed. There it is. That is the Samsung. Interesting. Let's compare these two, right? So let me just make sure everything's off here. Interesting. It feels slightly smoother on the S24 Ultra than it does on the iPhone. And no apps are open. Interesting. From this perspective, it just seems slightly smoother on the Galaxy. On the S24 Ultra. Interesting. So if I swipe along, interesting. I'm gonna have a play around with this and start to kind of see how it works, what are the kinks, because I haven't used Android for a very, very long time. And yeah, I want to make sure that I know what I'm doing. One thing actually I did notice when I've watched other people's video on the S24 Ultra, just Samsung in general, is that there is a lot of bloatware. And I'm looking to also have that experience of stock Android. So I'm going to get a Pixel 8 Pro, to kind of see how it stands up against it. But again, a very beautiful screen. Very, very beautiful. I mean, Samsung also makes the screens for the iPhone, but for some reason, that's wrong. But for some reason, it just seems that it is a lot better on the actual, let's go to, for example, a news website here. It just seems that it's a lot more smoother. What is that? Wallet. Okay, that's fine. Let's set this up later. For now, go to the web browser. And yep, that's fine. Yes, I'm in. Turn it on. Got it. So for example, where is the address of the browser, right? So let's have a look at the address. Let's go. A completely immersive experience. Look, if you compare the iPhone and the S24 Ultra, the S24 Ultra seems to be completely immersive, and it just seems to be a lot better in terms of the quality of the screen. I'm not saying anything is bad about the iPhone, but when you have them side by side, the actual screen itself is a lot more beautiful, I guess, vibrant, colorful. So if I go to there, and let's go to world home, just look at that. I'm not sure if it's easy to see on the computer screen or on your phone when you're looking at the video itself, but it looks a lot more beautiful and a lot better, a lot smoother, and a lot more fluid on the S24 Ultra than it is on the 14 Pro Max. So that's very, very interesting. So again, it's very interesting in terms of screen real estate and quality. I'm not trying to take anything away from the iPhone. Again, it's doing things very beautifully, but it just seems that the S24 Ultra does it just that bit better. Interesting. Now, I'm not going to go into this into any more detail, because what I want to do next is give the phone a go, have a look at the camera quality. The camera is meant to be on paper a lot better than the 14 Pro Max. So I want to try to take some shots, take some pictures, and take some videos and see how it actually looks, right? I also want to see how it stacks up battery wise, because I've done the unboxing and my first impressions is that it's very impressive, especially when you have it side by side to the iPhone 14 Pro Max. But I also want to be able to, now that it's locked, I need to figure out how to unlock it. There we go. Fine. So I need to also figure out how the iOS works, because it's a completely new iOS to me. I want to be comfortable with it. I want to see what I'm able to do. And yeah, I mean, overall, I'm very impressed. There are some good things. And there are some good things about the iPhone. So I'm not trying to get people to sit on the fence on this. It comes down to which one will be your favorite. You won't be doing anything wrong going with either or. But if you're going to spend that amount of money, the question is, do you get more with an S24 Ultra for that type of money? Or is it worth buying an iPhone? Yeah, I'm very excited about this actually, because I've been on iPhone for at least 6 years, maybe longer. So it's going to be very interesting for me to use a completely new operating system and a completely new device, which again differ completely in terms of design philosophy and in terms of how they want the user to experience their operating system. So it's going to be a very interesting time for me, and I'm very excited. First of all, because it's like a new toy, and secondly, because their design philosophy are completely different and the user philosophies are completely different. So yeah, it's going to be really, really interesting. One thing I want to mention actually is the coating on the screen of the S24. If you look at the glare there, you can see the light shining on the iPhone and the light shining on the S24 Ultra there. Now there is a special coating that is used to reduce reflections, I think by a third, or I can't remember what the number is, but there is a special coating on the S24 Ultra to reduce glare and reflections. So if you look at the lighting here on the S24 on the right there and the iPhone 14 Pro Max, you could see the difference in the reflection on light. Here it's completely muted, while here it's a standard reflection, which then also blinds you from reading the time. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna leave it there, and I want to start playing around with this because I'm excited to kind of get out there, start testing real world use, set up my phone properly, and get to know the OS system. So it'll be interesting to use it. So thanks for tuning in, everyone, and I will see you on the next one.